Okay, we had to make a trip to Mom's to pick up the strawberries. So I guess while we're here, we can go ahead and take a look around at what she's got. So she has a nursery license, so a lot of what she does is plants, viburnums, and all types of stuff. I'm the hydroponic vegetable guy. I don't know all the differences. I know those are strawberries. She's got planted in raised beds. I think those are the only plants I didn't give her. And we've got squash and pickles, I know. That's nice. Tries to hold everything up. I need that. Couple more strawberries. The tomato plants. I know I gave her some beefsteak and some super sweets. I think those are beefsteak. And I'm not sure if that is or not. 99% sure those are super sweets, which is a cherry tomato that produces a ridiculous amount of tomatoes. There's a few other things over there. Looks like she has a couple more beds that are ready to plant. I have some more seed germinating. So I know she's planting that. Or is going to plant that. So my strawberries are here. It's been all bundled up. They have nice new growth on them. So I'm going to try to set the camera up and I'll try to get these out and separate them and put them in one of my microgreen bins to get them over to the house and then try to get them in the hydroponic system. Always triple check to make sure your mic is on. All right, so I got everything laid out here. I wish that I didn't do this off camera, but it was just one day before work and I wanted to lay them out. I think I do have a picture or a quick video of them before they were drilled, and if I do, I'll add that in. But it's pretty simple. This you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot, or I think I got this one at Rural King, which is something we have in Florida. This is a 27-gallon tote. So in retrospect, and if I didn't have 12 strawberry plants, I would have done 9 net cups in this. That would have been 3 gallons per plant. That's the ideal 3 to 5 gallons, depending on the type of plant. Something smaller, you know, especially like herbs, 3 gallons is fine. But something like if you're doing pepper plants, you're probably going to want more like 5 gallons, or tomato plants, same thing. But with 12 on a 27-gallon tote, that's like 2 and a quarter gallons. But this won't be a crack key method where as the plant grows, the water replenishes. We will be refilling this and topping it off, so I'm not too worried about it. Everything will have plenty of water. So basically I kind of set these all up like this and eyeballed it, and then you use what's called a hole saw. So this is a hole saw. One important thing to know when you're doing this, because you'll have these all set up and then you kind of eyeball where it is, and you know, you go, I use the 3-inch because these are 3-inch net pods. So if you have 3-inch net pod, use a 3-inch hole saw because the lip is a little bit larger than 3-inch. So one important thing to remember when you're doing this is the most important thing. For whatever reason, hole saws, when you spin them clockwise, they catch and they burr, and it's a pain in the butt. So run your hole saw backwards when you're drilling these holes. Actually, I run my hole saw backwards when I'm drilling any hole at all with a hole saw. So you'd set it down and you'd run it counterclockwise when you're drilling the hole. It'll take a little bit longer. Actually, it probably won't take longer. Just trust me, run your hole saws backwards, counterclockwise. You'll thank me later. So with that said, drilled these holes out. I tested one by putting some expanded clay pebbles in there. That's really just to hold the plant up itself. I'm gonna end up taking these out, putting the plants in, and then putting the clay pebbles back in to surround the plant. And then of course this will be filled with water. In this video, we're not gonna do I drilled the holes for the oxygen pump and the oxygen stones to go in here, but I want to have a little housing or something over my oxygen pump. One, to keep it cool, out of this Florida heat, and two, to also keep it shielded from the rain. This oxygen pump's going to be doing multiple systems. It's a big aluminum, almost industrial size or commercial size oxygen pump, so I don't want it to get damaged because they're not cheap. So for right now, we're going to set it up as a crack key method. It just won't have oxygen. It'll still have the nutrients and everything, and it'll be fine like that for a week or so until I make the next video. And I'll make sure that in the next video that I show you running the oxygen pump, all the specs on it, and all of that good stuff. So at least we'll get strawberries and some nutrient water in the right pH and get everything going. And then, like I said, next video, we'll make sure the oxygen's set up, and I'll show you the whole process of that. So let's get some water in this tank. So we're just filling this up with water, and basically we're gonna want them to come right to the bottom, just below the bottom of the net cups. The roots are gonna stick out past a little because you can see the roots here in the bottom left-hand corner. They're pretty big, so we're just gonna get it where the roots are gonna be in the water just a little bit, but not submerging the net cup. That's the main thing. All right, guys, this is where it gets to the people like different things. Certain people do certain mixtures of hydroponic nutrients, others do others, different ones for different plants. So I'm going to start with a vegetative mix called Maxi Grow. It's for the growth, of like a vigorous plant, not for a blooming stage, not for a flowering stage or a fruiting stage. It's just for growth. So I'm going to start with that. It says 1 to 2 tablespoons per gallon. There's roughly 25 gallons in there, but I'm also going to put General Hydroponics. It's a floral series. It's the micronutrients. So we'll be doing a mix of those. So I'm going to start off with 5 scoops of this. And it'll take time to dissolve as well. So it might be something where I aim a little low and then come back later and add more to it. I do that quite a bit, just so we don't overshoot. I'm also going to be adding, like I said, some of the floral micro. It's great, especially when starting plants. So I'm going to add that in. Just read the directions on the back. That's the best way to go. Once you get everything set, then test your ECs, and then you can adjust from there, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. All right, so we added our Maxi Grow, and we added our Floral Micro by General Hydroponics. We didn't have to add any pH up or down. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but so we're sitting at a 1.9 on electroconductivity, or EC level, which is your nutrients. Typically strawberries like to be around a 2.0 is a good spot, but there's some undissolved nutrients there at the bottom, so 1.9 I'm happy with. And we like to be between a pH of 5.5 and 6.5, so a 6.0 or a 6.2 is where I normally like to have them, and it just dropped to a 6.0 even, and it's saying 1.94 on the EC, so I'm happy with that. And I cross-checked it with another EC meter, I always like to cross-check meters because calibration and everything like that, but we're sitting perfect, so we're gonna go with that. All right, it's time to get some strawberry plants and some net pots, so might do this in a little bit of a time lapse. This is my worst plant. Does not look great at all, but like I said, it is my worst, so we'll start here and go from there. I'm gonna try to thread a little bit of roots through if I can, and the rest will find their way through. That's why I say this might be a time-lapse thing. And also try to keep the crowns above the water is a important thing. And then we're just gonna take the expanded clay pebbles and surround the plant so that it has some structure, and leave that crown exposed. Drop them down in there like that. So I have my bag of expanded clay. I have like 50 pounds of this for other projects, so just gonna start there and keep going. And there we have it, everyone. They're all rooted. Some of them I was actually able to get the roots to drop down a little bit. I don't know if you can see that at all. Get the roots to actually come down in the solution. Some of them, they will have to grow the roots out of the net pots and down into the nutrient filled water. But we have 12 Ember variety strawberry plants, new variety, straight from the University of Florida IFAS extension. I'm gonna break this off because it's dead and there's no reason to have it. And let's see what this variety does in a deep water culture hydroponic system. It'll start out pH, ECs are perfect. It's got expanded clay pebbles, net pots, 3-inch, average of 2 1/4 gallon per plant, but I'll be topping it off and adjusting the pH and ECs as it's needed. We'll adjust the types of nutrients that it gets as it grows. Once it goes into a blooming phase, we'll add a blooming fertilizer. And once it goes into a fruiting phase, we'll add a fruiting fertilizer. making sure the plant gets exactly what it needs. The holes for the oxygen lines are pre-drilled already, so we'll have 2 4-inch stones, one on each end. But for right now, I'm gonna slide it under the eave over there, and once we can get something to cover up that oxygen pump, so I feel safe putting my expensive equipment out here in the rain and keep it out of the heat and the rain, we'll get some oxygen pumping to these roots. And that's pH, EC, and oxygen is huge for hydroponics. That's what makes it grow so much better than soil grown products, is controlling the pH, just like our bodies need pH to be right, you know, and it helps us. Same thing with plants. They go into what's called nutrient lockout if they're at the wrong pH. So having that pH locked in to the right level lets the plant absorb the correct nutrients, and then you control the nutrients as well, and you get it to exactly what the plant's wanting. And between the pH, you know, letting the nutrients come in. Our bodies work the same with calcium and magnesium. If one's off, it can't absorb the other. So same principle here. I think I'm going to close it out on that, and I'll see you guys next time, which is when we'll probably be putting in the oxygen stones. Blow Grow Hydroponics. Thanks, guys.